Come on in, come on in, come on in. What's up? What's good? What's popping? What's cracking? What's percolating? What is really good in the hood? It is your man Theo Butler, and welcome. Yes, welcome. Comics in College Football Closeout Show. You didn't. I know I didn't do it last week, but I know daggum good well. Y'all didn't think I was gonna talk about them football games that we watched yesterday. the devil is a lie. Yes, it is. It is. What's today's date? September 17th. Man, look, it's almost 2024, y'all. September 17th, 2023. I would say I'm going to take y'all to kick off tonight, but I don't really care about it because it's a college football game show. I don't really care nothing about the pro football besides. The Steelers not playing. So I don't care anything about that. So come on in. Hopefully you done had your dinner. You went to church. Hopefully you got the word in and everything like that. You learned the good. You heard the word. You Sunday school, church dinner, whatever you did today. Hopefully it was good. If you got the word, drop the word in there. Let me know what the word was for the day at your particular service. But yes, we had a great slate of college football games yesterday, but we also got some comic books. I did tell y'all I was going to talk about something yesterday, but I didn't do it. Mark Spector, no longer the Moon Knight. Yeah, that's supposed to be a thing. We're going to see about that. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to get into these college football games. And I think I would be remiss if I didn't start this off. This is an SEC show. But because we want to give as much time to the SEC as we want to, we're going to talk about Colorado versus Colorado State. Did y'all not see that football game last night? Oh, that was a great game. Hopefully Travis Hunter won't be out for too long, but that was a great game. There was a lot said about the game prior to, right before kickoff, because we saw the teams trying to dust up and everything like that. We were like, is Colorado finna lose? No. Shedeur Sanders, who quotes Tom Brady. Hey man, Tom said focus. I go ahead and focus. We do this all the time. Leads his team down the field, and I be John Brown. A game that many picked him to win by 14. Showed a lot of character, a lot of resilience, and they won the game. But what about what led up to the game, though? You know, over here, I ain't saying, I'm just saying we do this thing with a twist. So we going to do it a little bit with a twist. Jay Norvell. Now, there's an article that says basically he put his foot in it, essentially, and he don't know how bad he did it. And it's in regards to the comment he made about Deion Sanders, what his mother taught him to do. Yes, that comment is receiving a lot of attention. Now, let me explain something to y'all, because I sharing is caring if you know me growing. These are both two brothers. Y'all want me to say that one more time? These both two brothers. Jay Norvell and Deion Sanders are both brothers. And they're both brothers that are relatively old. When I say brothers, African-American, black, whatever you want to call. You've been around long enough to know certain things. They are. What Jay Norvell did, which is why Deion Sanders got in his feelings, and it's brothers, sisters that were raised in the South. Let's just say we understand certain terminology and what you mean, what your intent is when you're doing it. Deion Sanders was raised in the South. Don't really care about where Jay Norvell was raised, but he should know better based on the ethnicity that he proclaims himself to be. When he said that his mother taught him, when you're an adult, you take off your shades and your hat. That was him trying to dehumanize Deion. That was him trying to make Deion Sanders unrelatable, as in not human, as in you couldn't see yourself in Deion, as in Deion was ignorant, as in Deion didn't have any manners, as in Deion didn't know any better, as in Deion Sanders is not where you should be sending your young men to be molded into better men, because Deion Sanders is a bad example of a man. That's what Jay Norvell's statement was making. He knew it. That statement wasn't no different than someone else's statement about not monkeying something up. You're speaking to a certain element. And every brother and sister that was raised in the South knew exactly what Jay Norvell did. Jay Norvell knows to a degree what he did. He just don't know how can I put this? He know to a degree what he did, to a degree. As in, that might not have been the right thing to say. I should have kept it on football, which is right. You should have kept it on football. Or there was a whole plethora of things to talk about in regards to you and Deion Sanders' football knowledge, X's and O's. No, you made it about the content of his character. You're not understanding that there are black people looking at you and saying, how could you? That's going to affect you on the recruiting trail. It is. You're going to have to do a lot more than just that hug it out moment and everything like that. No, some people know when you speak code. If you're a brother or sister that's in your 40s, 50s, and everything like that, you know when someone is speaking code. He was speaking code. That said, that was an outstanding game last night that we got to watch. Colorado versus Colorado State. Everything else be damned. To see that state be put back on the map, prime time, nothing else mattered. This was a win-win for the state of Colorado. It was. It's a signal that at least for this particular season, this moment, both programs are back, and it's not going to be an easy out. I look forward to both programs going forward. That said, Colorado State, they don't necessarily have a name brand. The Rams have not had a name brand for a minute. Under Armour, changing the helmet logo. Now they back to the classic helmet logo and everything. They're struggling to find an identity. Identity. That's a nice little segue, ain't it? Because they're not the only ones struggling to find an identity. There was so much said after week 1 and week 2 in regards to, is this team for real? Is this team that bad? People that was on that fans, hardcore fans, calling for their coaches to be fired 2 weeks in. The white flag being waved like we can't do it no more. I sat back and I looked at this damn thing because I am an SEC fan. I'm an SEC fan, Georgia Bulldog fan. And if you just look at stuff, just look at it without stepping back from it. See, sometimes you got to step back from the wall. Let me say, do we have any notes in here and everything like that? Because I see 4 people in the room, but anybody that's okay, we in it to win it. When you step back and look at it, though, because I had to step back, I was like, oh, the SEC ain't looking that good. Who's for real? LSU got drugged by Florida State. We know that. LSU got drugged by Florida State, but those of us that follow college football, there's a difference between following it and watching it. There is. Those of us that follow college football, we like, oh, low key, that was supposed to happen. It was. You ain't got no, you don't have a secondary. And Brian Kelly talked about the fact that he had issues with his secondary. Transfer portal be damned. And what have we heard coming out of Tallahassee? That FSU got trees at wide receiver. Okay, well, that's a recipe for disaster. Matchups make fights. Okay, well, LSU went down. But what has LSU done since then? Will LSU look different? Or do they? Seems like we got excited, and I'm not going to say rightfully so. Now, it's official. It's official. The Rock With Me Nation moderator, D. Steezel, is in the building. It is official. I don't care if it's just me and him. It's official. No, I'm lying. Listen, I love it. Thank y'all so much for being here and everything like that. Thank y'all so no, I'm just joking when I say that. But is LSU for real? Is LSU the team that we seen get mollywopped by Florida State prime time? Right? Prime time. Mollywopped by Florida State. Or is LSU the team that beat Mississippi State 41-14? Now, I watched that game, and let me just go ahead and say this. When you jump, because I used to think Saturdays were my day off. You don't have any days off when you doing YouTube. And if you call yourself somebody that watches college football, following college football, Saturday is definitely not your day off. It's not. You could be working someplace else. Saturday, you got to be locked in. You got to be watching college football. And if you say you watching all the college football games, oh my God, you got to have multiple TVs up and everything like that. But I said during the SEC, so I had to watch SEC game. And what did I learn from watching LSU play Mississippi State yesterday? Well, do we not remember that Mississippi State's coach passed away? He did. He passed away. So Mississippi State is, what's going on, Mr. Ray Smith? My mentor in the building. My elders in the building. It can't help but be official right now. The Rock With Me Nation moderator, my elders in the building, my mentors in the building. Oh, we got this right here. So Mississippi State head coach passes away, tragically, unfortunately. They got to install a whole new system, offense, because they used to be the air raid. That's all they did over there. That's not what they're doing now, though. So they're still trying to find their place. And as I watched the game, I was like, maybe that has something to do with why they're struggling. And what I can honestly say to you is that while Mississippi State's installment of a new offensive system had a little bit to do with why they were struggling yesterday, no, LSU beat their ass. LSU mollywopped them boys. And I was like, because see, you can talk to me all day long about your offense being brand new. You know what you can't talk to me about? You can't talk about what your defense got going on. And I just need us to think about this right here, because this thing got ugly quick. I don't care what anybody. 41-14 was the score. And we need to understand something. LSU, Brian Kelly did not come to play. Damn near 40 minutes of owning the football. The game is 60 minutes long. They had it for damn near 2/3 of that. You're not getting the ball. You're not. 530 total yards. That's up, down, up, down, up, down. If you look at, you know what? I look at yards like this. If you give me a team that's 100, that if you show just basically the team gained 100 yards, I'm like, that's the football field is 100 yards. That should be a touchdown. Well, 530. Well, what's 5 times 7? What's 5 times 7? Okay. that looked like the score right now. 41-14, 5 times 7, 367 passing yards. They threw that ball all over the place. 163 rushing yards. They ran that ball all over the place. Now, the question is this, because so much has been said about the SEC and about them having a down year. Depends on what you mean by that, because I looked at some stuff and I'm like, I don't necessarily know if I get it. Hey, Grand Madam, my other mentor in the building, Grand Madam Tarot. I get it. I understand it. It looked, and I get it. We need to sell paper. I get it. We do. I get it. We need clicks, likes. But what if I told you upon further, y'all see what I got on? What if I told you upon further review, the SEC ain't that bad? I'm not saying that as a homer. I'm just saying, suppose upon further review, I get it. First week, North Carolina beat South Carolina. Are we really surprised, though, that North Carolina beat South Carolina? You shouldn't be. That's normally how that goes. Right. Utah beat Florida. Okay. Well, we said both them teams by even coming into the season, right? Right. Okay. Well, Utah lost to Florida last year, right? We know by and large, Florida ain't really found. Well, it looked a lot different last night against Tennessee. But in week 1, we know Florida was still. So are we really surprised that Florida lost to Utah? We saw what they were ranked going into that game. So South Carolina loses to North Carolina. Okay. Florida uses to Utah. Out on the West Coast, like this wasn't even in the swamp. They went out. Oh, okay. Now LSU beating FSU. I'm going to say FSU beating LSU. Like I said, if you follow college football, you already knew what Brian Kelly's concerns were. You knew what the receiver room at Florida State looked like. You knew if FSU's offensive line, which Mike Norvell has done a great job in rebuilding after that nonsense that Jimbo Fisher left, You knew if they were able to give him time, he was going to make it do what it do. Well, he made it do what it did against LSU. So if you knew that, you wasn't really looking at LSU as being that bad. What you were looking at was that FSU took advantage of a deficiency on LSU's football team. Does that mean everybody else is going to be able to do it? Got my unnamed coffee here. My unnamed creamer. We're not doing anything. My unnamed coffee mug until we get some sponsorship deals right here. We're not dropping no names, but this lets know I got this coffee going on. So what did LSU do yesterday? They did what they were supposed to. They beat the dog stew out of Mississippi State. But suppose I told you week 1 that the SEC went 12-3. Suppose I told you that in week 1, the SEC as a conference went 12-3 outside the conference. Are they that bad? Because I just told you the 3 games that they lost. Okay, let's look at it like this, because that was our early game. We had another early game yesterday. I'm gonna keep the party rolling and everything like that, and then we're gonna switch subs and get some of the superhero news. We had another early game yesterday. Kansas State -4 at Missouri. Damn Missouri. See, as a Georgia Bulldog fan, I'm concerned right now because I like, you rooting for Missouri to make it do what it do. If they -4, they -4. So we thinking Kansas State. Y'all remember Kansas State, right? Oh no. Kansas State won the Big 12 last year. They won the Big 12 championship. Yeah, I know. Y'all thought it was I know. I get it. Y'all thought it was TCU. TCU played Kansas State in the Big 12 championship game and lost. That was their only loss of the season. But Kansas State, that was the team that played in the Big 12 championship game. It was. Now, mind you, college football fans, we know just because that's K-State, the decal, it say K-State, that ain't necessarily the same team. We got transfer portals. We got graduations. We got kids moving on to the league and everything like that. So we get that. But Missouri was -4 and won by 3 in a high-scoring game. 30-27. Let me say that one more time. They were -4 and won by 3 at their place. Kansas State put up points. They also gave up points. Okay. Well, what does that tell me about Missouri? Because we keep saying the SEC is down. That tells me Missouri is not only going to be pass happy, but they're also going to give up points as well. Well, low key, where's Missouri from? No. I know they're in the SEC, but where they from? Where they from? Where they from? They're from the Big 12. Well, what's the Big 12 known for? Throwing. What they also known for? Being thrown on. Why? Because they like throwing. That's the air raid conference. The coach from Mississippi State, the one that passed away, he came from Texas Tech. Air raid. Right. So what am I looking at in regards to Missouri? Your secondary not that good. They not. I don't know what to think about your offense because you threw the ball against Kansas State. The Big 12 is known for their defenses being thrown on. So I don't know what this, by the way, if we haven't discussed it, the SEC, it's an identity crisis. They don't know who they are right now, and I can't tell you. All I'm doing is reporting the news. That's all I can do is tell you, because I still don't know who LSU is. I don't. I'm not going to try and tell you. I just can tell you the outcome. I don't know who Missouri is. I know they pulled an upset yesterday. I was rooting for them. I can't tell you that Missouri is legitimate because that would mean I would have to tell you that K-State is legitimate. And I can't tell you that K-State is legitimate. You know what I can tell you? Alabama has a huge quarterback problem. Segue. Alabama has a huge quarterback problem. And since I have been living, there are those in this chat that have been living longer than I have. And I cannot tell you the last time I saw Alabama with a quarterback problem, quarterback deficiency. That, as I told my wife, that just means I ain't been living long enough. But if you can tell me the last time you saw Alabama with a question mark at quarterback, please put it in the chat. Theo, you heard about Morris Chestnut is being considered as the new T'Challa? No, I have not. Hold that though. We're going to come back, double back around to it when we get to the comic book section. Make sure I come back to that. Don't let me forget. Matter of fact, y'all, I got my handy dandy pen here. It serves as a stylus. Make sure I don't forget anything. So Morris Chestnut is Black Panther as T'Challa. Gonna be a little older, gonna be a little long in the teeth. Hopefully, what we talking about? We probably talking Secret Wars. So that's what that is. I'm writing this down. This is my way of making sure I don't lose my train of thought because I'm real good at doing it. Coming back, Alabama, quarterback problem, situation, issue. 3 quarterback, not one. 1 quarterback from Notre Dame, still they making it do what it do. And I get it. It was raining yesterday. But you know what? When it's raining, you're supposed to be able to do this. And they couldn't. Let's think about this thing for a second. Alabama against South Florida. We talking South Florida. Y'all need me to say that one time? We talking South Florida. Alabama against South Florida. This who we talking about. South Florida. Alabama against South Florida. And I watched this game. Theo, you don't really like Alabama. I respect the hell out of Alabama. Ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm going to watch Alabama play some football. And I'm going to keep it a buck when it comes to Alabama. Game was delayed. Cool. We got that. Weather delay. We got that. Okay. Inclement weather. We got that. Alabama has been touted as having one of the best offensive lines in the nation. We knew that coming in. We knew there were issues at their quarterback position before the season started. We knew they were going to be leaning more so on the running game. We knew that. We knew Milroe was going to be the quarterback. That's the reason why they had him, because they knew, for whatever reason, the passing attack was not going to be there. Well, we saw Milroe last week. Didn't look good. Against Texas, it didn't look good. They rolled out 2 new quarterbacks yesterday in the rain. First of all, let me just say South Florida had the ball longer than Alabama. It wasn't that much, but that's not something that we're used. This is South Florida. This ain't Texas. This ain't Georgia. No, this is South Florida. They had the ball. I know y'all be like, Theo, it was just a minute. You're not supposed to hold the ball longer than Alabama. That's what that is at the end of the day. The Alabama Crimson Tide, their mascot is an elephant. They're supposed to move you out the way. They couldn't move anybody out the way yesterday. 310 total yards. 107 passing yards, 203 rushing yards. And I know y'all going to be like, well, Theo, that's a lot. Not when South Florida had 177. It's not. You didn't move the needle against South Florida. My concern, because we don't know who Alabama is, identity crisis. Y'all remember that story arc, DC, identity crisis? One of the best story arcs ever. I need to cover that. Damn, I read that story arc. In Identity Crisis, Tim Drake is a heterosexual kid in Identity Crisis. I read it. Good story. Might want to go check it out. DC Comics. Anyway, that's me being petty. Comics, college football. See how it all go together and everything. So who is Alabama? Is Alabama the team that we seen get drugged by Texas at their place? Or are they the team that's struggling against South Florida? Let's have an honest conversation, because as I don't think fanatics do this enough. I think fans do, but there's a difference between fan and fanatic. Let me make sure I keep up with these notes. Austin, I will fall out if Morris Chestnut is the new T'Challa, but Morris is in his 50s, right? Yeah, Priest run aside. T'Challa should have hair. Morris doesn't have enough. LOL. He's 54. That's the yeah. Y'all talk it. I'm gonna walk it. I'm with y'all. He too old. He too old. He too old. Now this is a one-off. Let it be what it's gonna be. But as far as him playing it for an extended period of time, damn, we're gonna give him a 10-year run. He's gonna be 60. No, you know what? Cast him as Scion. Said something in, didn't I? Or how about this one? Gray his hair out and cast him as T'Chaka. See, I can scare you. I can scare you all day. Then, hey Disney, if you want to make it do what it do, I would cast him as T'Chaka, and I would get me probably watch this. He would show up in a movie, and I would get me a Disney Plus series out of this with Morris Chestnut as T'Chaka. Do you know how many women, regardless, women and men, regardless, gonna tune in to just look at Morris Chestnut? All demographics tuning in to see Morris Chestnut. You got men that want to be him. You got men that's gonna want to be with him. You got women that want to be with him. Yeah, you're gonna have women that want to be with him. So yeah, it's a win-win. And Morris Chestnut would be able to, how can I put this? Be able to give some much needed fleshing out to a character that's by and large Scion that's undeveloped. Yes, he would. Do the same thing for T'Chaka too. See how I get it? My handy dandy pen. He might be insulted by the. Then if he feels insulted, he don't need to be participating. And that's one of the other things we can talk about. Because the more I get into it, the more I can say with absolute certainty that not enough people involved with the Black Panther Project 1 or 2 cared enough about the integrity, i.e. the source material, i.e. what made the story unique in and of itself. Not enough, way too many, whether they be executives, directors, writers, actors, whatever, didn't care. From what I was told and from what I was raised to believe, and this is what one of the things that Chadwick Boseman alluded to when people look at his interview, you're supposed to care about your role. Don't judge the role. It is somebody's story. You're supposed to learn and appreciate your craft. This is a dude who said, no, they can't speak European English languages. They can't speak with a European dialect. It's got to be African. He cared. If Morris Chestnut doesn't care, I don't need him around it. That's the problem. Way too many don't care. They just want a buck. And what I would say is this. A failed Black Panther project does no one any good. So you got to get past just making a dollar, because Black Panther fans don't care about you making a dollar. You know what Black Panther fans do care about? You getting the story right. And we've shown, whether it be not being at the movies, whether it be not watching that movie on the streaming service, whether it not be us purchasing the merchandise, we've shown we give it, whether it be us reciting the source material verbatim from the damn comic books, whether it be us showing, hey, we're not stupid. We know what we're talking about. You're not going to be able to devalue us. If they can't get that story right, it don't matter who pick up the role of T'Challa, Scion. Black Panther fans are just as passionate about T'Challa as Batman fans are passionate about Bruce Wayne. Black Panther fans are just as knowledgeable about the source material as Batman fans are about the source material. I say that convincingly. I say that because I'm both. What I can tell you is that why people will give a damn about Bruce Wayne, even people that look like me, you have people that look like me don't give two damns about this dude. And will lie on that dude just to be famous amongst their own, actors included. But we're going to keep the party going. See how y'all did that? Alabama. If you're an Alabama fan, you need to have fair expectations. I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. Here's what I went into the season knowing. I knew we were having issues on the defensive front. I did. Kirby alluded to it. I knew that regardless of whether or not Carson Beck is a five-star quarterback, I knew a walk-on quarterback kept him at bay 2 years in a row. That means we were entering this season with more questions than answers. We aggressively hit the transfer portal to get wide receivers in. So I'm sitting up here looking like this. I know we won 2 national championships. And then Mike Bobo is back as the offensive coordinator. Mike Bobo, who historically, under Mark Richt, for whatever reason, the Georgia Bulldogs, with all them quarterbacks that we had coming through. Aaron Murray came through. Yeah, he did. There's a quarterback right now, Matthew Stafford, came through. The Georgia offense would notoriously get started off slow. The quarterbacks would have a gang of yards and wouldn't have no touchdown passes. Well, you know what we got with Carson Beck right now? He had a gang of yards yesterday, no touchdown passes. This is Mike Bobo all over again. So, what am I saying to Alabama fans? You might want to temper your expectations. I get it. I know what you're used to doing. Used to doing. Let me say that one more time. Used to doing. What you may need to do this year is understand you're not playing for a national championship this year. What your fair expectations are is a SEC West title, hopefully. You don't have enough rounds in the chamber to go toe-to-toe with Lane Kiffin, whom you got to play, if they're going to put points up on the board. Right now, what you're looking at with an Alabama team, you're looking at an Alabama team, and I was thinking about this last night, laying in the bed and everything. You're looking at an Alabama team who's going to have to do what the Baltimore Ravens did when Trent Dilfer was their quarterback. I want you to think about what I just said, because that defense was historic. Well, ain't that the defense that they compared the Georgia Bulldogs to, their defense to 2 years ago? Ain't that what they did? They compared them to the Baltimore Ravens. Well, if you're an Alabama fan, I'm telling you right now, this ain't me talking bad against your team. This is me looking at what you've done on the offensive side of the ball. You're going to need your defense to be historic, because what you're going to have to wind up doing, you scored 17 points yesterday, didn't you? Let's think about this thing if you're an Alabama fan. Alabama scored 17 points yesterday. Take a look at their schedule. They scored 56 points against Middle Tennessee. Okay, and somebody else did that the very next week. And if I'm not mistaken, it was probably Tennessee. Okay, you scored 24 points against Texas. 17 points against University of South Florida. Your point total is going down. If Alabama, and this is what they're going to have to do, Alabama is going to have to average 28 points a game just to be in the conversation. Let me see. Hold on for a second. Bang! Lisa! My phone about to die, but we're going to make it do what it do. Alabama, do you see them doing that, though? Do you see them holding everybody else they play? And this is what they got on their schedule. Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Arkansas, Tennessee, LSU, Kentucky. You see them holding them to 14 to 21 points a game? Do you? Do you see them doing that? Because if you don't see them doing that, therein lies your expectation. Give me 1 second. We back. So, that said, if you're an Alabama fan, temper your expectation. Ask me the question, Theo, Well, you got so much to say about Alabama. How you feel about Georgia? Low key, I just told you. Do I expect us to win a national championship? No. Like, damn, Theo, that's tough. Have we done anything this year so far, week 3, as a Georgia Bulldog fan, to make me feel? No. Our defensive front ain't bringing no pressure. We have to create pressure. Well, if you have to create pressure and you can't just do it with your defensive line, that leaves holes in the secondary. Yes, I get it. I understand it. We got a great secondary. They did pretty good. But did you see what happened with Gunner? Did y'all see that? The first half, Georgia was losing 14-3. They was running the football. I was impressed with the X's and O's from Colorado State. Too many belligerent penalties, but his quarterback could take Georgia to the championship. Could. Absolutely could. In regards to the Colorado, too many bad penalties. I think referees are really put in a hot box when it comes to officiating a Colorado game. You got all the eyes on you. You can't make any mistakes, and you know it. And the referees made some mistakes last night on both sides of the ball. Coaches gonna feel some type of way and everything like that. I believe the Travis Hunter, the player, should have been ejected. Definitely should have been gone. What's going on, Kamoyo? What's going on? But yeah, definitely too many penalties. But like I said, that game in and of itself, the negativities aside, that game did a wonderful job in highlighting the state of Colorado. Regardless of who won, who lost, that was a win-win for the entire state. It was impactful. The fact that I'm sitting up here and I'm looking at two brothers, I think they could have went about that differently. I think Jay Norvell wants to, low-key, is maybe jealous of all the spotlight and attention that's there, but I think he did more harm than good bumping his gums in regards to that comment in regards to the glasses and shades, glasses and hat and everything like that. But that is that. I want to talk to y'all about this real quick. Make sure we stay on task here because I don't want to forget anything. Like I said, Mark Spector, Moon Knight. My dog's supposed to take a dirt nap. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that Mark Spector is set to take a dirt nap in January? March, which is crazy to me because I'm like, didn't y'all just do a Disney Plus show? Mark Spector, Moon Knight, ain't that what y'all just did? And now Marvel, it's one of those things where I look at what's going on with Photon, written by Eve Ewing. I look at Marvel Comics then killing off, inexplicably, Kamala Khan. She's an Inhuman. Bringing her back as a mutant, only to die right then and there again, I guess, but she got action figures out. None of the action figures match the costume that she has right now because she's an X-Men right now, an X-Man, whatever you want to call it. And you finna kill off Mark Spector. Mark Spector's alive in the MCU, so you know what? Let me do it like this, because I could be confused all day. This comes from Game Radar, so we're just going to go ahead and make it do what it do. We're just going to go ahead and go to Game Radar, because Mark Spector is set to take a dirt nap January. His longtime nemesis, the Black Spectre, is the one who takes him out. Hunter's Moon is still going to be Hunter's Moon. This comes from Game Radar, and what I will do is make sure I put this in the comment section and everything like that, so y'all be able to go check it out. But yeah, Mark Spector is getting ready to take a dirt nap in January. I don't know how. If you're a Moon Knight fan, and he has fans. Mark Spector got fans, and I don't, because we heard this like when they was messing around with his religion. Everybody heard about it. Like Disney heard about it. They had to fix it real quick. Y'all finna kill off Mark Spector. Y'all finna upset quite a few people. I wouldn't do it, but hey, I'm not the one that's writing it, so I ain't got to be the one that's gonna take the flag for it. But yeah, they finna kill off Mark Spector. That comes from Game Radar. Y'all should see that right there in the comment section. Make sure when y'all want to go check that out, check that out. But yeah, Mark Spector taking a dirt nap. Damn, do you care? I guess that's the question. I guess that's the question right there. Do you care that they're replacing Mark Spector? Like, this ain't Peter Parker. Honestly, this ain't even Daredevil. Are they killing off Mark to replace him with another personality, another character? Hard for Mark to permanently die because of Khonshu. You know what? That is absolutely correct. Let me tell you what this article says, because I want to make sure I go ahead and read this to y'all and everything like that. Meet the new Moon Knight, who will replace Mark Spector. Vengeance of the Moon Knight launches in January. This is coming from George Marston, Games Radar. Marvel has been foreshadowing the death of Mark Spector for some time, with ongoing teasers building toward Moon Knight issue 30, in which the Fist of Khonshu will breathe his last breath. But now, Marvel is revealing what will come after the death of Mark Spector, namely the rise of a new hero in a new ongoing series titled Vengeance of the Moon Knight, from writer Jed McKay and artist Alessandro Cappuccio. Ooh, I'm hoping I said your name right. I'm hoping I got your name right. But who is the new Moon Knight? It seems as though Hunter's Moon, Moon Knight's fellow Fist of Khonshu, will remain in place in his own role through Mark Spector's death, meaning a totally new hero may soon take up the mantle of Moon Knight, with Marvel stating that there will be a new avatar of Khonshu's wrath. A new Mark Spector. I'm gonna say a new Moon Knight. Now, I low-key saw them play around with Iron Fist. I want to say a couple of years ago, they introduced the new Iron Fist. I think it was temporary. Nobody really feeling that. Heroes, legacy heroes, comic book fans. I think we don't appreciate enough when we introduce a new character, original character. And yes, we can sit back and say Moon Knight upon his introduction. I dig Moon Knight, but he's had a few too many different incarnations over the years. This is true. The new character suit is dope. No, Chauncey, I agree with you. The new character suit is dope. I checked it out myself. He big jealous. What's up, my people? How you doing? Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna catch up on these notes. So I'm gonna make sure Austin said, Theo, have you ever found out if Storm born with pupils or not? My son says that's part of her being a mutant. I'm agreeing with your son. When her pupils disappear, it's part of her being a mutant. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I've seen too many mutants do that before, where they activate their powers and their irises completely. All they're left with is with their irises. The color completely bleeds or whatever, dilates, whatever. The color leaves their eyes, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I think that is a great way of showing a mutant's abilities being activated with the color. We know that's all that is. It ain't like we seeing out of the color surrounding our pupil. The only thing we really looking at is that right there, the black area, right? So I'm cool with that. I accept that. I want to say I looked at it, but I'd be lying. I just know that that's been what that's been since I was a kid, regardless of what mutant. Like, this has happened with other people, regardless of whether they were mutants or not, way before Aurora. So I just accept that for what that is. Marvel's not going to dig that deep into it. Some artists will keep the irises there. Some artists won't. It's a matter of what you like to do. So if they aren't drawing it, basically what we need is more consistency. But I would be perfectly fine. I'm fine with that response that it's her mutant powers being activated. So definitely great question on that. I apologize it took me so long to get to that question, Mr. Crafton. Thank you so much for that, Austin. But in regards to what you said, Steezel, yeah, Moon Knight's had way too many incarnations. He hasn't, which is crazy because he just had a nice run on the Avengers. But it's one of those things that makes me ask the question, confusedly so. Marvel Comics. Marvel Comics Universe. Marvel Cinematic Universe. That was it. Marvel Comics, Marvel Cinematic Universe. The impression that I get is that the comic books are doing their hardest to keep themselves separate from the MCU. They writing their own legacy, their own path. What I get from the MCU, though, is that the MCU wants to be seen as the de facto prime universe over Marvel Comics. Going back to Nate Moore talking about, well, that's the 616. No, bro, that's the 1999-99. Even Kevin Feige has alluded to it in some of his recent interviews as it being the 616 universe. No, it's the 1999-99 universe. I'm almost of the mindset that the comics are going above and beyond to differentiate themselves from the movies. Like, no, we ain't got nothing to do with y'all, and if we can low-key screw y'all up, we will. Because I never could explain how, and if Blues was here right now, even because me and Blues talked about it all the time, I never could justify the action figure release date, what was going on, and I'm talking about with Kamala Khan. I never could justify what was going on in the comic books, them killing her off, then them bringing her back. What was going on with her action figure, the power swaps and everything like that. And then what was going on, it made absolute, it was almost like the comics was saying, we're going to make sure our Kamala Khan has nothing to do with Disney. If you don't like Disney's Kamala Khan, that's not ours. We got it different over here. Speaking on that, let me stay right there. Shout out to Emergency Awesome, Everything Always, Mikey Roman, whatever, because he answers to a lot. Remember that plot leak that I talked about a while ago? If you rocking with me like I'm rocking with you, I'm rocking with you like I'm rocking with me. Yeah. Remember that plot leak that I told you about the Marvels? Well, they're talking about the mid-credit scene. And see, this is what get me in my feelings right here. This is what get me in my feelings for this. This is what get me in my feelings for this. This is what get me in my feelings about this one. So, Mikey Roman, Emergency Awesome, Everything Always. I want to say the person that he credited All Fire. I want to make sure I'm giving him his credit and everything like that. And those of y'all that rock with me, when I told y'all what was going to happen in Black Panther 2, did I get it right or did I get it wrong? That was a leak. Matter of fact, if I've given you a leak on this channel, that was the damn movie. I ain't released the leak on this channel yet, and that ain't been a damn movie. Because I sit back and I say, okay, I see. But let me do some more research. The leak. Question, Theo, do you believe most of our heroes have a mental personality disorder? Well, I mean, you taking your, I mean, you did put on a mask. You did put on a mask. And you are able to keep a great ass secret. Like you literally do have two separate identities. Like that's what that is. You got two, like you're able to keep these two identities separate. So just based on the literal definition, I ain't saying, I'm just saying. Like you got a whole different personality. And you literally keep them two people from talking to each other. You can't have them talking to each other because they'll be out at each other. You can't be in your civilian identity or be in your civilian mindset when you got your mask on, because your civilian identity gonna wind up giving your civilian identity away. You can't be thinking about your costumed identity when you just out kicking a bobo, because you're gonna be the mess around and dry snitch on yourself. So I'm of the mindset that yes, they do all suffer to a degree from some type of multiple personality disorder, but in a good way though, because you need that. You need that. You need that. I really want to say I was going to use that as a segue, but speaking of that though, Khonshu, Fist of Khonshu. Let's turn this thing back around though, because I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Make sure I keep up with these notes. I also think some writers don't know how to finish stories, so they kill a character, then jump to it. Exactly. The studio will force comic characters to match the MCU on occasion. Young comic Agatha is the latest example. Exactly. But who gonna watch it? Thank you for putting me right back on task. The comic book company. Marvel Comics, no, we don't necessarily give a damn about Agatha like that. So what's their inclination? Cause paper costs money. We killing trees around here. I don't see them. Same thing they did with Namor. They released a Namor miniseries. In that miniseries, Namor did not look like Namor did on the big screen. Namor was still half Irish American, half Atlantic. He was. His father's name was still Leonard Mackenzie. It wasn't Hector Ayala. It wasn't Hector Arroyo. It wasn't Jesus. No, his daddy name was still Leonard. Is it by design? That's what I'm asking. Do we think that Marvel Comics is doing it deliberately? I would say so, because I believe, especially if we look at what's it, critically thinking and world-class BSers. Mark got 3 folks in his head. Hulk hired someone to make proof. My sister's an author and a carpenter. None of her. I think only Batman got that problem, in my opinion. I just pre-ordered his Target exclusive Legends figure, Moon Knight. I got that. I got both Target action figures. I got both Moon versions of the Moon Knight action figure. And we're gonna do this. I think only Batman got that problem. We're gonna come back to that, because I definitely want to talk about in regards to action figures. So let me make sure I got a note here, because I had an idea for some action Spider-Man action figures, and y'all know I don't really talk Spider-Man like that, but I think, well, we know by now Hasbro Marvel Legends, they known for just leaving money on the table, but we're gonna see what we can do to help them, because I'm sharing is caring. If you know me, grow me, as steel sharp as steel, master sharp. So I want to help Marvel Legends. We do. Y'all should still be, every day you log on to social media, hashtag HasLab 2024 Quinjet. We want the Quinjet. We want to get it made. So I need to make sure y'all trending that. We got to have it trending, or not, they're going to give us some other type of foolishness. But that said, I do believe Marvel Comics is going above and beyond to differentiate themselves from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I do believe the head editor at Marvel Comics went and said that, I want to say last year, that what takes place in the MCU does not necessarily affect the comics. That's its own separate entity. I believe they're going above and beyond to keep themselves separate, because I believe they see the MCU as a losing property. Shout out to what I want to say. Not Valorverse. I forget who I said. Hey, good evening, everyone. What's going on, Diabolical? You right, D, but I think sometimes our superheroes are crazy. You got to be crazy. First of all, who going out there with their drawers on the outside? And some skin tights? Like, just think about your mindset for a second. Like, this ain't you putting on no football uniform. No. You got some tights on. And some of us have decided to put on bright colored tights on the outside, like we're trying to draw attention. It's got to be something wrong with you. Even though we think normal. Superman got on red drawers on the outside of some blue tights. Bro, something wrong with you. Some writers have to, make sure I get this, some writers at Marvel have to rebel against Feige and MCU. You have to if you want to sell a good comic product. We've listened to Valiant Renegade. That's what I was talking about. If you look at the money that Marvel is losing, the MCU, well, if you're the comic book company, it does you no good to follow the blueprint of the MCU. The MCU is supposed to be based off you. They're not getting it right because they're taking liberties with your source material. So if you're the comic company, you don't want to be associated, watch this, you don't want to be associated with a loser. And I think we can all say right now, when it comes to comic superhero movies, as a Trekkie, there's a mad effort to keep the copyright situation between the TV and the movie and the books all about accounting, contemptuous of the art. You know what? I read some Star Trek books, especially when I was in Okinawa, Japan, and everything like that, because we didn't have that much to do back in '91. Being able to go to the bookstore, the PX, and everything like that, and buy those Star Trek. Who has ever read a graphic novel, no pictures? They've done stuff like this with the Doomsday storyline, Batman, and everything like that. As people talk about reading, no, we take reading to a whole nother level. They've actually written books, to your point, and these books, Star Trek books, they're supposed to be kept in continuity. And if they're not, they'll go ahead and tell you, this book ain't in continuity. So it's one of those things where the fan base is the fan base. The fan base crosses all demographics. So you're not going to be able to play that card. I wish they would understand that when it comes to Black Panther, that you're not going to be able to play that card. The only people that got, if you're anti-recaster when it comes to Black Panther, you're not a Black Panther fan. There, I said it. Because your arguments are all invalid based on the character and his surrounding characters. And that's where your arguments fell short. I'm sorry, it is what it is. But we did say college football, right? So we got to get back to the college football portion of the show and everything. Kevin Feige needs to go. He's lost his motivation and magic. I don't know if he ever had it. I don't know if he ever had it. And the reason why I'm saying it is because I don't know if, as a comic book fan, you ever run out of good ideas. As a comic book fan. See, all Kevin Feige, by and large, Nate Moore, all you're supposed to be doing, by and large, is regurgitating. That's it. By and large, Marvel Cinematic Universe is not that old. It's not. I know it's been, no. It's not that old. It's still a baby. They have so many other stories to draw from when it comes to the source material. They're not doing. No, they've called audibles. The MCU is essentially a baby. Let's think about it. Let's look at this in human years. How old is the MCU? Do we really think the MCU, if they were an actual person at that age, would know what the hell they were doing? No, they wouldn't. They would be an adolescent. So this is what we're looking at. You got a young entity that thinks they know. They don't know. They don't know because they want to deviate from success. Well, let's call a spade. We watched the first Avengers movie, right? We did. The first Avengers movie, low-key, was similar to the first Avengers comic book. Loki was the problem. We brought together heroes that couldn't take him down by themselves. That's what that was. That was the first issue of Avengers. Okay, Captain America, the first Avenger, that was his origin story. Yes, you updated it. But every comic book fan knew damn good and well the difference between what you updated, but by and large, the story was still the story. Same thing with Iron Man. Same thing with Age of Ultron. But you know what wound up happening? Right after Captain America Civil War, you got greedy. You want to make these heroes realistic. They got to die. You're killing off all the damn villains. You got 45 prisons. You ain't got enough damn villains nor enough backstory to justify having that many damn prisons. And you know who's sitting back looking at this? It's the comic book fan. While you got everybody else and their mama who don't review comics. Let me keep that right there. Hey, Marvel Comics. I'm sorry. Hey, MCU. Hey, Warner Brothers. I get it. You got people that's reviewing your movies. Absolutely wonderful. And that's a great thing. As long as your movies that you're putting out have absolutely nothing to do with comic books, you're taking your information, you're getting your feedback from the right people. You absolutely are. But watch this. When you drop out a movie, when you release a movie called Flashpoint, the movie reviewer is not the one that's going to tell you whether or not you got that right. It's the comic book fan. It is. The problem is you want to keep listening to movie reviewers who tell you that they comic book fans, but they're not. They can't tell you not one damn thing about a comic book because to a degree, they probably don't own one. If they do own one, it's for show. But you know who do own the comic books? who do owns the knowledge? It's the comic book fan. So when you want to do a comic book movie, a movie based on a comic book, you might want to listen to the comic book fan in regards to whether or not that's a good comic book movie or not the movie reviewer. They don't know, nor do they care about whether or not the movie is good. They care about whether or not you like their review of the movie. That ain't getting you nowhere. And it ain't got you nowhere in the past couple of years. That mindset went out the window during phase 2. MCU phase 1 did meet real comic fans halfway because they needed our cosign. They did. Ain't a single villain in them prisons for real. Ain't nan one of them. Kevin was mentored by the Donner family. Hey, but Theo would rather know what's going to happen based on the comments or mixing things together. Let me get back to that. I'm gonna see what you're saying because I think I missed something, Mr. Austin. Let me get back. Kevin Feige needs to go. He lost his motivation and magic. I think the people around him, let me see. But Theo would rather know what's going to happen based on the comments or mixing. Yeah, I mean, let me see. Kevin didn't originally come from the comics fan space. He came from the filmmaking space, and he know it. Tell you what, the Sanders boys are going to be great things in the NFL. Man, listen, we're going to come back and talk about that because I ain't done with that Colorado. You know what? I'll go ahead and do that right now. It's the wag dog. Look at the spectacle and not behind the curtain to see how bad the writing is. It is absolutely. The writing is bad. They give it movies right now. Superhero movies are giving me Batman Forever vibes. That Batman movie with George Clooney and Arnold Schwarzenegger, that's what I'm getting from superhero movies right now. That's not a good look. Going back to Colorado. You remember the first time I talked about the game when they beat TCU and I said, you know what I liked about the game? What those young men had to say after the game was over with. People want to make a lot about last night. Colorado versus Colorado State. Deion Sanders versus Jay Norvell. You know what I would like for us to take away from that game? There's a father. There's a father that's living the dream. He gets to coach both his sons. He didn't just teach them the game that he loved. He watched them embrace something that he loved and exceed at it. I can't tell you what the expectations were for his sons coming out of high school, as to whether or not they were going to go to a Power 5 school, as to whether or not they were being even recruited for a Power 5 school. They went to a HBCU. And this is everything that I'm thinking about. As Shiloh is on the sideline being embraced by his father. We told him they weren't good enough. We told them they couldn't compete at that level. Primetime stage. Primetime. TCU, Nebraska, and Colorado State. You know, we hear so much about black men in regards to their children. We do. And it ain't good. But for at least a season, if not two, we're going to see something that we've seen other ethnicities do, but not really us. We get to see a man, head coach, his son, starting quarterback, his other son, starting cornerback. They're going to compete. They're going to excel. They're going to be mentored by the best that ever played the game. And no, I'm not necessarily talking about him. No, I'm talking about those that he knows because of his greatness. We're not talking enough about Deion Sanders, the father. We're not talking enough about the sons who come to their father's defense. at the drop of a dime. This is a made-for-TV film. Because we don't talk about this enough. What we're seeing right now in Colorado is the antithesis to everything that shows up on VH1. What we're seeing right now in Colorado is the antithesis to everything they're going to show you on, what is it? Not Cinemax, the show, the streaming service where they have Power, P-Valley. He's still there in his son's life, his children's life, that is. He's a man of God. You're not going to like it because he's passionate with it. It's going to be kind of hard to talk bad about him because he give it up to God every time he opened his mouth. Every time he opened his mouth. And the fact that Dion really don't know how to be quiet, we hear him put God first and foremost, damn near in every conversation. He talks about the humility in teaching them, those young men, how to be men. We're not going to talk about that. So when folks have something to say about what your mama taught you, your mama should have taught you to shut up and be quiet when grown folks is talking. When you say, Mad Dog Russo, you're tired of the Deion Sanders effect, just what effect are you tired of? When y'all have so many derogatory comments to make about what's going on with the program, what's derogatory? He shined light on the HBC program. And he still, if you got an issue with him leaving HBCUs, he ain't left them. He talk about HBCUs every game. They make it a point to say, Shador's been doing this. You just haven't seen it because you won't come to the HBCU games. He's doing his job as a man. He's doing his job as an African American. Jay Norvell, where you at? Because you're a self-professed black man as well. Where are you at in all of this? Or you just want to talk about his hat, his glasses? Or do you want to talk about what it takes to get our people, because you're supposed to be one of them, our people where we need to be? Talk about football. You want to make it personal? Invite Dion to a Dozens game where y'all can roast one another. You'll probably take an L there as well. But going forward, it's kind of hard to hate on him right now because that's all it is hate. We're going to keep the party going because I don't want to say too much and everything. I could talk about Dion. I could be real. Dion had haters since the 90s. A reviewer actually said that a James Bond movie was all girls, guns, gadgets, and fighting and gave it 0 stars. I mean, but what's wrong with that, though? People act like fair expectations. I did not expect any Academy Award-winning acting in Snakes on a Plane, and neither did I want to see it for that. I wanted to hear Samuel L. Jackson cussing. I did. I wanted to see some snakes biting the hell out of some people, choking the hell out of some people, strangling the hell out of some people. I did. I wanted to see some women yelling, cussing, crying, all that. Wanted to see some men yelling, cussing, crying, all that. Wanted to hear some good amount of jokes. I did, because Samuel L. Jackson, I expect there to be some type of humor in this. Then when because I can't remember his name, Keenan Kel or whatever, when they said he was in the movie, hell yeah, you got to get. Then, what's your boy, married old girl, y'all know him, the comedian. He was in it too? Okay. This got to be funny. At the very, you know what? Snakes on a Plane was funnier than Soul Plane. Y'all need me to say that one more time. Snakes on a Plane was more entertaining and funnier than Soul Plane. And I really want to say I had more comedians on Soul in the movie Soul Plane than I did. I blame Brian Singer's Fox X-Men for blaming those. Brian Singer need his ass whooped. He need his ass whooped for both the X-Men movies and Fox movies and that damn Superman movie. Like, I ain't forgetting that foolishness. No. He need his ass whooped for both of them. He need his ass whooped for casting Frank Jansen as Jean Grey. He need his ass whooped for that one. He need his ass whooped for not recognizing that James Marsden really do. How the hell you don't give him no lines in the X-Men movie, but want to give him all the damn lines in the Superman movie? Playing a character he ain't really supposed to be damn playing. Ain't no damn sense to me. I guess that was him making it up. Hey, James, I know I ain't giving you enough shine over here. Come over here in this movie. No. You're not going to be no superhero, but I'm going to make sure you get some lines. I don't know. No. Let's keep the party going, though, because I don't want to keep, doing all that and everything like that. Spider-Man. Can we talk about Spider-Man? Sam Raimi didn't ignore Spider-Man comments. Thank you for the Spider-Man reference. Samuel L. Jackson said that any reviewer trying to get into the movie Snakes on a Plane needed to have his... Man, listen. Right. But I love that damn movie. Snake Man, listen. That's a guilty pleasure. That's a guilty pleasure. Let me hit y'all with this, though. I want to see what y'all think about this. Actually, I like it. This is for the action figure community. This is for the action figure community. I said it. This is for the action figure community. So nobody gets in this and be like, Theo, man, no. This is for the action figure community. I'm putting this in here. I think I'm going to put it in here. Boy, look here. When you want to share some stuff, anyway, this is essentially saying, this comes from Screen Rant, Spider-Man's best costumes have been designed as superheroes. I don't know how y'all felt about that. Spider-Man's best costumes were responsible for us getting some superheroes. Sam Raimi didn't ignore that. Raimi. I just put that in here. And I want to take a look at this. And this is to the action figure community. Comics, college football. I think we've done a great job thus far talking comics and college football. On paper, Soul Plane should have been one of the funniest films of all time. On paper. That's why we play the game. But I wanted to talk to my action figure community. Mr. Smith is in the building. I'm not sure if my brother D-Real is in the building. I'm going to say B-Real. D-Real is in the building. But this comes from Screen Rant. 10 Marvel heroes who started life as rejected Spider-Man cartoons. So what I wanted to see is if we would be interested in any of these action figures if they were to come out. I think Marvel Legends needs as much help as possible. I'm just going to go ahead and say, are y'all comic book fans? Like, is it that hard to, I get it. The MCU wave, that's something completely different. I understand that. But should it be that difficult to release action figures, a wave of action figures, 4 to 5, 6, 7 times a year that makes sense if you own the Marvel Comics IP? Think about that for a second. So, Spider-Man costumes, alternate Spider-Man costumes that have actually been made into characters. The Scarlet Spiders. They said that was now we do know that was the Iron Spider costume. We do. I would like a comic book accurate Iron Spider costume. Some Spidey suits are okay, but his gear needs an upgrade though. I would get Prodigy. Stay with that, Kamoyo. Stay with that. Stay with that, because you said you would get Prodigy. Stay with that. My only problem with the Scarlet Spiders are the Waldos. It's 3 of them. A spider got 8 legs. What is 7? What is that? Who idea that was? No. Dead ass. Who idea that was? Because when they came out with the Scarlet Spiders, they made sure the Waldos were 4. Who idea that was to give them 3? How you gonna have a 6'5" Wolverine and give Halle Berry 2 lines? The movie would have made more sense with Halle Berry as Wolverine and he was Cyclops. A stick could have been his Storm. You know what? You're not wrong. You're not wrong. The thing is that Hugh Jackman's attitude as Logan, that was it. So I could understand it, because I was like, damn, that's a That's a tall Logan. The attitude made it, and of course we not having anything as far as like effects and everything to make him shorter. I don't know how that would have went over, but damn, Logan's short. Because watch this, Kevin Hart, that's Logan. Well, Danny DeVito, that's Logan. I don't know what actor that height has them. Not saying that there's not one out there that has those chops. I just ain't seen it. So, but yeah, so the Scarlet Spider. Would we be interested in a Scarlet Spider action figure? Scarlet Spider, we mean the Iron Spider. I would be. I actually low-key got the action figure. I just had the MCU version because the MCU version came with 8 legs. I'm going to say with the 4 legs. I prefer the comic book accurate Iron Spider. But I'm not doing that with no 3 Waldos. I'm not doing that. Marvel Legends way with all the alternate Spidey suits. And Kamoyo, stop stealing my thunder. Damn it. I said wait for a reason. We're going to put it in the comment section. Damn it, Kamoyo kid. Damn it. See, you're going to mess around. Keep on. You're going to mess around and get some responsibilities around here. That's what happened when people step up to the plate. I believe in rewarding folks that's going to step up to the plate and just hand you, okay, all right, listen. Oh, let me go ahead and announce this right now. At some point in time, probably this week, we will be adding a call-in feature to the show. Yes. It past 2 videos. No. I don't know if you've been able to see it in the past few videos, but there is a phone number popping up in my contact information. That will be for when it's not, don't know. I'm just helping y'all out right now. You see that phone number? That's not, well, it is, but it ain't. That ain't the phone number you're going to get me throughout the course of the day. It's not. I'm just telling you right now. But that phone number will be used specifically, and I just want to thank God for that one, the opportunity. That phone number will be used for call-in purposes doing lives. Yes, you will be able to start calling in. We will be able to have conversations live and everything like that. You will be able to hear me interact with you, hear you interact with me, and the rest of the Rock With Me Nation. I think that is a win-win. So yes, I will definitely be letting y'all know when that phone number goes. It's live. I mean, I don't want to tell y'all that it's live. I'm just not using it. Well, I am, but I ain't. Let's put it like this. I got the phone. The number is live. Just not really using it right now. But it is a phone number that's going to be dedicated for the show so we can have call-ins and everything like that. So we got that. The Iron Spider. We got that. The Iron Spider. Prodigy. Somebody mentioned Prodigy. Prodigy. Careful. A shooter will call you. Hugh 6'3". Greater than Logan shouldn't be my height. Damn, Steve, are you 6'3"? Damn, I see. I'll be looking up. They ain't a half around here. I got to look up. Prodigy. Would you be interested in a Prodigy? Essentially, what I'm thinking is this. I think what they should do, Marvel Legends. Y'all, I'm rocking with you, you rocking with me. I'm rocking with you, you rocking with me. You rocking with me, I'm rocking with you. We buy action figures around here. We like to spend money. We like to spend money. You like to spend money. We like to spend money. Spider-Man. We like Spider-Man. I've been liking Spider-Man for a minute now. I ain't gonna act like that. I like Peter Parker. Would this wave of action figures be something that you would be interested in? Let's look at this because it's 10. It's 10. It's 10. It's 10. 10. 10. So we're looking at Hasbro and we're saying, watch this. 7 action figures, right? A builder figure. That gets us 8. 2 deluxe figures. Kamoyo, you spitting good action figure out there. Yeah, that's why I said it'd be something different if he was right here in studio sitting beside me when we doing the damn thing together. It's almost like he was taking notes without did you realize that Hasbro made every figure from the 1990 Spider-Man cartoon series except Jonah Jameson assistant? D Steves are gonna answer that for me. Rock with me, Nate, because he know what that coffee means. I ain't saying, I'm just saying. We said I can't say nothing when you're telling the truth. Hugh played his part with excellence. No one mentions Alistair Smythe. No one. No one mentions Robbie. And I ain't talking about Robbie Reyes. Because you damn sure told the truth on that one. Hey, Dan. Hey, Bug, what's going on? Hey, what, Matt? Where's Robbie? Fair question. So we said an action figure wave, Spider-Man, Bath, seven action figure wave with a Bath, 2 deluxe action figures. That gets us to 10. Let's talk about it. Let's be about it. We got the Iron Spider. I think that's fair. Kamoyo, I think you mentioned Prodigy. They got him. Ricochet, not to be confused with the wrestler from the WWE. No. Not to be confused with the gun that you had back in the day, the Ricochet racer gun. That's not what we're talking about. Ricochet, him. Dusk. That's going to be a plain character. That action figure ain't going to come with no accessories. make sure I stay with it. No, that action figure ain't going to come with no accessories. You just going to. Who else we got here? Hornet. That's the one I'm interested in. I'm interested in the Hornet action figure. Hey, Marvel Legends, you're giving us Spider-Man villains that don't nobody want in these multi-packs. We talk about an action figure wave, a 7-figure wave, 2 deluxe figures, and a builder figure. It's sad Hasbro has treated Robbie. He was part of that series. It's sad on Hasbro part. Hashtag. The thing is that, watch this, and I think this can be something that's said every place. We're not in the room. And the best thing that I can do as far as not being in the room, I saw a guy today, can't remember his name, action figure collector, and he was talking about the Giant Man HasLab project and how he had pointed out that there were certain things that we in the action figure community wanted. And there was someone who went after him because they want the Giant Man HasLab project, and their take on each other is he's a hater because he's pointing out what's wrong, what could be better with the Iron Man, with the Giant Man project, and he's a hater, or he's just a butt kisser for Hasbro because he don't want people saying anything bad about the Giant Man HasLab. As I stated before on this channel, there are certain things that Hasbro could have done better with that, but by and large, it's up to you whether or not you want it. If you want it, get it. If you don't, you don't. Don't let someone talk you either into buying it or not into buying it. It is your money. As I stated before, I don't think we having this conversation if that was Bill Foster, Goliath action figure. I think for $199, I think we all would have been on it, but it's not like the how can I put it? It's like not just because we would have bought it that the issues in regard to the action figure don't remain the same. Those issues are still there. It's just a matter of whether or not you care. That's all it is. It's just a matter of whether or not you care, whether or not that's the action figure you want. If you don't, then it could have been a perfectly fine action figure. That action figure could have been $100 damn. You don't want it. You're not moving on it. That's how that would have went. So a Hornet action figure, just the color, if they can get the color right and everything like that, I would love to have a Hornet action figure. Gold Goblin. Now, hey, Gold Goblin, this is a recent character because he's showing up in the comics right now. Yeah. Harry Osborn, I think the dad is playing Gold Goblin and everything, complete with a golden glider. Yes. The Green Goblin is now the Golden Goblin. Get out of town. I would be here for that. Who do we have next? Deadpool. Now, I did not know that Deadpool started up as an alternate Spider-Man costume. Sticks and Stone. Did Deion Sanders ever have an action figure like Bo Jackson, Michael Jordan, and Wayne Gretzky had a cartoon in the 90s? No, he did not. And it's crazy that you said that, Mr. Harvey, Mandel, because starting lineup had the NBA. I think Ja Morant killed the starting lineup action figures all by his damn self. But once again, Hasbro, you got the starting Legends lineup. You know what you're not doing with the starting Legends lineup? You know what action figure works well, especially if you get the helmets right. Football. I don't know why we don't have a starting lineup for the NFL. That's easy. Let me say that one more time. That's easy. And honestly, a starting lineup, Hasbro. Y'all, wait, we talking action figures. We're talking action figures. Y'all ready? Would you do it? Would you do it? Would you do it? Would you do it? Let's go here. So I got a standard action figure. It's a football player. Football player. It's a football player. It's a football player. Football player comes with, watch this. Football player. It's a football player. So Theo, how do you think we should get Hasbro attention for making Robbie Robertson Peters? Videos, social media. Like, that's going to be the way, because, thank you, bringing me back. We're not in the room. You want to get Hasbro's attention? Of course, we could say something to Boog Nice. Question is whether or not he's going to say anything. Now, if Boog says something, how many people are helping Boog push that message? They got to see it. It's got to start trending. We have social media accounts that we use for damn near everything except for what we really want. One of the things that I've been low-key doing on this channel is, like, if I want certain things in regards to Black Panther in the comic book, I need to talk about it on this channel. Well, I do believe that to a degree, what I've been saying on this channel has been heard. You're not going to necessarily tell me you listening to me because you don't want me and you to have that type of relationship. I get it. God gonna get me there though. But if what we're talking about on this channel leads to the writers, the creators of Black Panther giving us stories that we love, then we need to get the message out via our social media accounts. We want Robbie. The question that you asked, how do we get it? It's as simple as this. Me inboxing Dan, me inboxing Boog. Hey, what's going on? Because I got this channel over here. See, that's the other thing. When I inbox them, they're not necessarily thinking that I have a YouTube channel or that I'm significant or that I am speaking for people. I am. Hey, Boog, what's going on with the Robbie action figure? Someone just hit me up and they weren't wrong. We've gotten action figures from the animated cartoon, but we ain't got Robbie. What's good? I heard you ask what was going on with Luke Cage earlier this year, February. You were upset about that. We didn't get any action figures for African American Black History Month. You said something. Okay, well, we got people in the action figure community now trying to figure out what's going on with Robbie. Boog knows Dan, has a relationship with Dan. So we would need that question asked from Boog. But we would also need Boog to understand we out here in these streets and we trying to figure out, we like this. What's going on? I'm an MCU collector channel as well. Same thing. You go into their channel, you let them know, hey, what's going on with Robbie? And you want them to say something. The thing is this. Your concern for an action figure might not be their concern. Your knowledge of action figures might even trump theirs. You might ask them about Robbie, and they not even be able to tell you who the hell that is. You'll be asking them for action figure, like, who? That's where the comic book fan come in at. And that's where it comes in with my brother D-Real. We're not only comic book fans, we're action figure collectors. So we're looking at the action figure and we're like, that's not. Well, you will see, no shade. This is no shade. Dave's model behavior, MCU collector. Sometimes they speak on action figures and they don't even know the action figure that they're speaking of because they don't read the comics like that. Well, I only know two people that do. I only know two people. I only know two. It's crazy when I say this. I only know two people. I follow action figure collectors on YouTube. I do. I only know two people that collect action figures and got the comic book knowledge to go along with it. That's me and D Real. I've never heard me and D Real talk about an action figure and say we don't know much about the character. And I've heard every action figure collector say that at one time or the other, regardless of who it was. They don't know. They're not going to be able to give you the backstory. They're not going to be able to give you the history. They're not going to be able to tell you if this comic book accurate or not. They're not even going to be able to tell you what comic book, if the costume did show up, what comic book that costume showed up in. I only know two people. I only know two. It's the brother that says alive and alert from the north side of the dirt. And it's the other brother that says, what's up, what's good, what's popping, what's cracking, what's percolating, what's really good in the hood. Them the only, no shade, none. That's it. That's all I know. That's it. So, but who knew Deadpool? Because I'll, make sure I stay on top of these questions. Deadpool, I didn't know Deadpool started off as a throwaway Spider-Man costume. I mean, I guess I sort of could get. So, Peter, I had no idea. Deadpool, number 4. Venom. Now that makes sense. That's the black costume, the classic black costume. That make all the sense in the world. Ain't nobody surprised by that one. But I do believe if you put this in here, Venom could be the Build-A-Figure. Venom could be the Build-A-Figure. The Iron Spider could be the deluxe figure. Or the Build-A-Figure. Wow, I never knew that either. Yeah, I'm just try and make, I had no idea. And I'm getting this. Y'all seen it in the thing. So we got Venom. Number 2, they got Venom, the Dylan Brock Venom. Now, this Venom I did, Dylan Brock, it looked like, I don't know what we got going on. Essentially, it's the Spider-Man costume. You can see it's, but I didn't know Dylan Brock. So this is an alternate costume. And then the Splendiferous Spider Hero, hell no. That's ugly as hell. I don't even want to show that to y'all. I don't even know if y'all can see that, but that's ugly. Ain't nobody doing. No, see, y'all was good. Then y'all went and got crazy. Don't nobody want that, but I don't think anybody asked for the reverse Spider-Man costume action figure that they gave us, Spider Guy or something like that, but they gave that out there anyway as well. So where we at? 1 minute 32 seconds. We still got some college football we need to talk about. Georgia. Let me go ahead and say this, because we're getting back to the SEC. I want to make sure I say this. So y'all remember everything that people were saying the SEC don't look good, especially when LSU took that loss to FSU. Y'all remember that? Y'all see what I got on, right? And y'all know what I do when I have this on. You know I gotta put my head, pause, up under the tent, pause, take a look, and review the information and see that it's accurate. You know that's what I got to do. The SEC went 12-3 in week 1. Does that sound like a down conference to you? They went 12-3 in week 1. Now the teams that they lost to in week 1, Texas A&M lost to Miami. I'm sorry, North Carolina beat South Carolina. Utah beat Florida, and FSU beat LSU. But they went 12-3. Okay. Week 2, they went 10-3. The teams that they lost to, Miami beat Texas A&M, Texas beat Alabama, and Wake Forest beat Vandy. I don't know if we've ever looked at Vanderbilt as being a SEC powerhouse, but in week 2, the SEC went 10-3. Is that really a decline? I'm just asking a question. Is that really a decline? They went 10-3. They played 13 games out of conference and went 10-3. That's bad? Okay. Week 3, they went 6-2. That's bad? They went 6-2 in a week where Missouri upset Kansas, the Big 12 champion from last year. The SEC not down. We just don't like the teams that they playing. That's not the SEC struggling. That's not that at all. We've seen them play some high-profile games, but as I alluded to, yeah, we saw FSU beat LSU, but we also just saw FSU struggle against Boston College. Are we thinking LSU is struggling against Boston College? Is that what we thinking? Is that I'm just asking some questions. Are we really thinking LSU is struggling against Boston College? Well, hell, that's what happened yesterday. So, is Boston College better than LSU? I got you one better. Y'all gonna laugh when I say this one. Don't laugh too hard. Don't laugh too hard. Boston College against Mississippi State. LSU put up 41 points. Do you think Boston College traveling to Mississippi State with them bells being claimed back and forth like this, you think Boston College would put up 41 points on Mississippi State? That ain't no question I got to ask. That's no question that I got to ask. All I'm saying is the SEC ain't that bad. Don't put that stank on it. Texas, yeah, I get Texas winning there last week. And I get it. They beat Alabama. Did y'all see Texas play yesterday? Did Texas look like world beaters yesterday? I get it. Neither did Alabama. But we do have this saying in football. LSU is our biggest sports client at my job. Come on, somebody. Come on. They have this saying when it comes to football. Any given Saturday, any given Sunday. We even went to go see a movie. Way back in, I don't want to say way back in the day, but y'all remember the movie? Y'all remember the movie? LL Cool J? Jamie Foxx? The movie was even called Any Given Sunday. and why do we have that saying? Because anytime you step on the football field, regardless of how dominant you are, you can take an L. Well, let's look at this thing. Everybody has so much to say about Alabama. Okay, well, I look at Alabama's schedule. Yeah, I got it. They got beat by Texas. I get all that. I understand it. Then I go take a look at Texas. And I go take a look at Texas' schedule. Well, Texas struggled against Wyoming. Yeah, it was 31-10, but they struggled slow. They got off to a slow start. Georgia got off to a slow start. Quite a few teams, and if you listen to these analysts, they're going to tell you quite a few of the top teams got off the slow starts. But you know who they're going to point the spotlight at? And you need to point the spotlight at them because they've done a lot to earn the spotlight over the years. They're going to point the spotlight at the SEC and say the SEC is struggling. No, the SEC is not struggling. Now, does the SEC look as strong as they did in years past? No, but it's week 3. Don't nobody really look that strong in week 3. But keeping the party moving right along, we're going to keep it going because we talked about it. Texas A&M, is Dabo back? Is Dabo that dude? Dabo Swinney, Texas A&M. They beat Louisiana Monroe 47-3. They were 36-point favorites. So they did what they were supposed to do. But the question that I started this video off with, there's an identity crisis in the SEC. Do we really know who Texas A&M is? Are they back just because they beat Louisiana Monroe by 44 points? I don't believe so. I don't believe in Dabo Swinney. I don't. Now, I'm not finna do a Paul Feinbaum on Dabo Swinney, but here's what I would tell you about Dabo Swinney. Dabo Swinney came in at Florida State. Bobby Bowden left the cupboard right where it was. Football, to a degree, has started to pass Bobby Bowden by. But when Jimbo Fisher came in, the ingredients were there. I saw a football program go downhill under Jimbo Fisher's leadership. He wasn't recruiting. And he wasn't doing anything with the offensive line. If you remember Jameis Winston's last year at Florida State, he was getting hit a lot. If you look at the quarterback who came in after him, he was getting hit a lot. I had never seen Florida State's offensive line look that atrocious. It takes a while to build it back up. Wasn't necessarily a fan of how they did Willie Taggart. That's a different story. Mike Norvell comes in. They give him time. He turns that program around. Well, what has Jimbo Fisher been doing at Texas A&M? This is a school who has everything they need in it to be successful. Everything. The resources, the recruits. And what is he doing? Is Texas A&M this? Watch this. Is Texas A&M the best team in the SEC West? And if Texas A&M, if you don't have them as the best team in the SEC West, where do you have them at in relationship to Alabama? Because they got to play them later on this year. Where do you have them at in relationship to Alabama? Let's look at Texas A&M's schedule real quick. Because as I was talking to somebody today, Jimbo is on the hot seat. He is. It ain't gonna cool off no time soon. When you take a look at what Texas A&M has going on, let me just go ahead and say right now, October 7th, they got a matchup against Alabama. October 7th. So this game, their schedule, it ain't looking good. Their schedule is not looking good at all. So let's take a look at this, break this down, because the question we're asking, is Texas A&M real? What is Texas A&M? We can ask this question with any of the other schools in the SEC, but Jimbo Fisher, this is the guy. Okay. Well, you did your thing. Louisiana Monroe, 47-3. Next week, you got Auburn. Week after that, you got to travel to Arkansas. Now, mind you, I'm saying this because Jimbo's already lost one game. Lost to Miami. Look at the rest of the schedule. And actually, when it comes to the SEC West at large, their schedule is going to be telling specifically for three schools: Texas A&M, LSU, and Alabama. The person whose butt is on fire right now more so is Jimbo Fisher. After Auburn, you got Texas, you got Arkansas. Then you got to play Alabama. What are we thinking? How many losses do you see right there? How many wins do you see right there? Then you got Tennessee. Are we really thinking in that stretch that Jimbo Fisher, the Texas A&M Aggies, they don't lose not one game in that 4-game stretch? You already lost one. Jimbo Fisher, the Texas A&M Aggies, it's SEC championship or bust. This is a school that has national championship aspirations. Do you honestly see them not dropping one game during this 4-game stretch and they had already lost one? I don't think you playing for the national championship with 2 losses on your resume, much less 3. Auburn, at Arkansas, Alabama, at Tennessee, South Carolina, at Ole Miss. You don't think Lane Kiffin gonna get up in the yam cakes? Like, look at this schedule. This is not an easy schedule for the remainder of the year. So the question is, who is Texas A&M? And if you're a Texas A&M fan, you got to be fair about your expectations. Now, based on the talent, based on the coaching staff, you should have national championship aspirations. But based on the play, based on the coaching, see, there's a difference between the coaching staff and the coaching. It shouldn't be, but it is. There's a difference between the players and the play. It shouldn't be, but it is. Do we really believe Texas A&M is a national championship team? Let me read this to you one more time. Versus Auburn at Arkansas. Versus Alabama at Tennessee. Got a bye. Versus South Carolina at Ole Miss. Versus Mississippi State. They play Abilene. I'm not worried about that. But you finish the season against LSU. That game will either decide the SEC West or the SEC West will already have been decided. And I'm of the mindset the SEC West, contrary to how people are feeling, the SEC West is going to be decided between LSU and Alabama. But now let's flip. Let's go to the other side of the SEC. Did y'all see what Florida did to Tennessee? Oh my God. Wait a damn minute. 29? Did y'all see what Florida did? No, for real. Did y'all see that? Because I had questions. I was like, Y'all know I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. So I know what Georgia did when Tennessee came to their house. And I sat back and I said, well, I saw what Tennessee did when Alabama went there. And I said to myself, you know what it's looking like? It's looking like when it's a high-profile game at their place, which has me worried, as a Georgia Bulldog fan, has me worried. If it's a high-profile game at their place, Tennessee look like world beaters. They do. You don't want no problem. But if it's a high-profile game at somebody else's spot, they don't look like that. And they did not look like that last night. Florida State looked Florida looked completely different from the team that took the field against Utah. And once again, remember when I said the SEC is having an identity crisis? I looked at that last night and I was like, because we got to understand something. This game, y'all need to know. This game, because I want to make sure I tell y'all this right. This game, where is it at? Because I know this game right here. Y'all just need to know Florida was picked to lose the game. That's what I'm saying right there. Florida was picked to lose this game, and I don't even want to talk about by how much, but they were picked to lose this game bad. And they did not. That's what got me. They were picked to lose this game bad, and they did not. They beat the brakes. Okay. So they beat the brakes off of Tennessee during the game. Did y'all see after the game where they looked like they were prepared to beat the brakes off of Tennessee after the game? Did you see the dude squaring up like this? Helmets, face mask, protection. That's why you got it on. Who you squaring up with? You got your helmet on. They got their helmet on. You got on shoulder pads that come down here a little bit. Definitely got that covered up. Got your pectoral muscles covered up. Got some thigh pads on. Some of y'all don't really wear knee pads no more. Get all that. Got cleats on. What you finna do with this? Because you got gloves on. They ain't got no cushion. Who you finna hurt? That's got to be the stupidest move, period, in all of sports for another football player to size up another football player and want to throw hands, and y'all both got y'all here. You're going to break your damn hand, which is crazy because if you're a receiver, you need them. If you're a quarterback, you need them. Hell, in football, you need your damn hands. The hell are you doing squaring up with somebody? Never mind. But who is Tennessee? See, I did all that to say, who's Tennessee? Is Tennessee really a great team? Is Florida a really great team? Do you even know who Florida is? If you're a Florida Gator fan, while you feel good about last night's game, this has got to be the most confusing thing in the world. Let's take a look at this real quick. Florida against Tennessee. First of all, Florida had 349 passing yards, so I don't know where this was against Utah. Then they had 183 rushing yards. I don't know where this was against Utah. But what I do know, Tennessee only had 287 yards. That's not going to cut it. Only 100 yards on the ground. That's not going to cut it. So who is who? I go back. I'm looking at Florida's schedule. And I'm like, wait a minute. Hold on. Y'all got to tell me something. Y'all got to tell me something. Because I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. I'm trying to see. Because I don't know which Florida team to believe at this particular moment in time. All I do know is, okay, they play Charlotte next week. That's not going to really tell me anything. It's not. There's nothing that's really told me you lost to Utah. Utah's a top 25 team. You beat McNeese State. Didn't learn nothing. You beat Tennessee. You played them at the Swamp. Home field advantage. You're going to play Charlotte next week. That's not going to tell me anything. You know what's going to tell me something? When you got to play Kentucky, September 30th, that's going to tell me a lot. That's going to tell me a lot. That's going to tell me whether you for real or not. Then after that, you got Vanderbilt. That's not going to tell me anything. Then you got South Carolina. I'm going to be comparing then. I'm going to be comparing the way Georgia played against South Carolina last night in comparison to how you played. You should play better because this game will be later on in the season. And you need to. Because after South Carolina, you got to bye, and then you got Georgia. The world's largest cocktail party. That is not on a neutral site. I don't care what nobody say. If a Georgia-Florida game is played in Florida, that's not a neutral site game. Going to tell us a whole lot about what Florida has going on. So what are we learning tonight? College wrap-up show. I don't want to keep y'all too long. We had 1 minute and 51 seconds and everything like that. Make sure you click, like, share, subscribe, and everything. I hope I've answered all questions, all concerns in regards to comic book related news, in regards to college football and everything like that. The SEC is decent. The SEC is decent. But as someone has said, just because these teams have the same logos from last year, these aren't the same teams. You might need to adjust your expectation when it comes to your favorite college football team. If I had to say right now in regards to the East, the SEC East, I don't like anybody right now. Yeah, I got to go with Georgia. But to me, the first competition Georgia got was yesterday. Now, were they impressive? The fact that you went in at halftime, down, what was it, 14-3, down 11 points. You come back out after the half, your defense gives up not one touchdown. You run off 21 unanswered points. That gives me hope for the future. But is that going to be consistent? Mike Bobo's the offensive coordinator, and I don't believe in him. I don't trust him. So that tells me Georgia's going to be getting off the slow starts for the rest of the season. I don't think that's going to work against Florida. And I don't think that's going to work against Tennessee at their spot. Damn sure not going to work in the SEC championship game. And if I'm not mistaken, the last time Georgia lost the SEC championship game, Todd Monken wasn't necessarily an OC, but I know they lost SEC championship games with Mike Bobo though. I don't believe in him until I see something different. I'm not going to believe in him. Listen, that's my time. I'm out. It is 8:54. You got work tomorrow or a 3-day weekend. Regardless, before you go, click, like, share, subscribe. Also, Toy Tuesday. If you have action figures and you take photos of your action figures, we're doing our best to be reorganized, organized better. So just to let y'all know, college game day, where we're talking college and comics, that's going to be 10 a.m. every Saturday morning. It's going to go from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. We're going to have the college wrap-up show from 7 to 9 p.m. that following Sunday. Tuesdays are our toy days. That's it. Action figure day. You got action figure pictures. Hey, I would love to show them off to the Rock With Me Nation and the YouTube community by and large. So if you got action figures, you got and it don't have to be Marvel. That's the thing. Your action figure collection is your action figure collection. You love it, post it, let's get it out there and everything like that. Let's show the world. Yes, we collect action figures as well. Y'all already know what's going on Wednesdays. It's the What a Week It Was Wednesday. So we're going to talk that up and everything. And we're going to be dropping comic book reviews. I still got to bring y'all Creed 3. Not a bad read. Blackest Night, DC Comics. Yes, we're gonna get that out there. Legends of Wakanda. Already did Zarbari. And yes, I finished Zooty. I just got to finish editing it and upload it. So yes, we're going to bring all that information to y'all. So y'all make sure y'all click, like, share, subscribe. Let your friends know and everything. It's a brother out here that's talking college, football, comic books. He kind of silly. He ain't got the better sense that God gave him and everything like that. And we going to have some fun. Like I said, it's only 2 cats out here that I know that know what me, that know what me and D Real know. And that's me and D Real. So click, like, share, subscribe. I ain't saying, I'm just saying.